joiner of the United States of America. Elaine Thompson, the reigning champion.
Just removed. Like a shot out of a gun. Price is up quickly. Thompson here are trying to test her. Thompson and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. Thompson pulls clear. Thompson Hera wins 10-6-0. Olympic record. Wow. Price was up good, but not brilliantly. And Thompson Hera finds the late race speed to pull clear and retains her title. Look at the emotion.
That's 5 years of waiting for Elaine Thompson Hera. 5 years.
There they go again, those Jamaicans, announcing themselves in spectacular fashion at the Tokyo Olympics. 1, 2, 3. A sweep of the medals in the women's 100 meters. And Elaine Thompson Hera repeats from her 2016 triumph and does it in style, an Olympic record. 10.61 seconds. The women's 100 meters has been contested at the Olympics since 1928. No woman has gone faster than what Elaine Thompson Hera produced. That is a measure of how well she is right now. And as much as we give her the credit, I have to at the same time credit her genius of a coach, Stephen Francis. He told the world heading into the Jamaican national trials that she was as right as she has ever been. But her colors were lowered at the national championships, and armchair experts started saying that Stephen had gone mad. He had lost it because he was wrong. But he wasn't preparing her to peak at the national championships. He was preparing her to peak at these games. And peak she has, faster and faster in each round. And in the final, she was so fast that the great Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce was left in her wake. And Shericka Jackson worked herself into the bronze medal spot, some distance behind. Absolutely tremendous. What a nation. What a performance. The Olympics have just begun. The color, the vibe, the speed has just arrived. Amid all of that, good morning and welcome to Tokyo Prime, the morning edition. Here with us today is Chris Taylor, Aileen Bailey, a woman who knows what it is like to run in an Olympic 100 meters final. And Alex Jordan is out there with us in Tokyo. And Obadeli Thompson is at the IMC commentary booth. Aileen, let me start with you for obvious reasons. Lance Whitaker says, wow. I'm going to say an extravagance of wow. I still can't stop saying, wow, I'm sweating right now. And it's cool right here in the studio and the race is done.
No, like I said, any one of the ladies won, I would be happy because, you know, it's Jamaica still. But for us to literally get a sweep, it's next level. And it's the second time in the country's history that we gotten a sweep. And Shelly was a part of the original sweep and she was a part of this one too. So, yeah, man, yo. Yeah, and Elaine looked like she never run still. So it looked like she can go farther if she been pushed a little more. So,
Chris, that was beyond earth. That wasn't worldly. That was something totally different.
Breathtaking, amazing. I mean, 13 years after, as Aileen said, we did that clean sweep in Beijing. Just amazing from a Caribbean perspective, from a Jamaican perspective. And to think that those girls could have gone faster as well. It just, you know, wets our mouth for the 200 meters, which is to come. But amazing performance. Great to see, as you said, 1, 2, 3, and the ability to repeat your Olympic title. Not something that many athletes can say.
Leighton Levy, you've been tracking these women's progress all season long. A sweep was always on the cards. Given your wisdom in this sport, you were cautious. But man, throw caution to the wind. The armchair experts, the Johnny-come-latelys, they were right because their aspirations, Leighton, have actually turned into medals, gold, silver, and bronze for one nation.
Absolutely, George. And of course, the numbers spoke to it. But there are other variables that we had to consider as well. But when you consider what we saw in that race, nothing short of spectacular. This was the first time I have ever seen Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce crack in a final. Never before has it been happened, and it's happened again. It happened today. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. Shericka Jackson, 10.76. You know, it is abnormal. It is exciting. It is otherworldly. This was a performance for the ages from Elaine Thompson and a fantastic performance from the Jamaican trio. expectations of 1, 2, 3 were met. And of course, there are many people who thought that it would have gone differently. But 1, 2, 3 is 1, 2, 3, and the colors are black, green, and gold.
Anil Roberts, our friend over there in Trinidad and Tobago, is with us. Remiss of me not to introduce him at the start, but he's a jolly old chap. Anil, from you were a child, they've been telling you, Anil Roberts, that speed kills. And what is true is that every other performance by a woman, every record set in this 100 meters, dead today because Elaine Thompson killed that.
Let me just start by saying I've never been speechless in my life. So let me stay quiet for 2 seconds. That is what it means to be great. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Elaine Thompson. I don't know how many nicknames you all have for her, but I call her now the Ice Queen because her running, her technique, her drama is diamonds, but yet she has ice in her veins. Go back, Lance Whitaker, to the introductions. Look into the eyes of Elaine Thompson, and I knew she was number 1. I was then looking for Jamaica, who will come second and third. Look at her face. Look at the confidence when she leaned her head to the side. Before they said her name, the smile, the comfort. She was in her ideal performance state. Go back, rewind that tape, and look as they introduced her. She knew what she was about. She was ready. This is the greatest pressure situation in world track and field athletics. The whole world was interested in this one race, this 100 meters. It was the 4 out of 5 women assembled, ready to go. And Elaine Thompson smiled and said, "Come to me, my people. I am the greatest." She put down a flawless race. A tall woman getting out of the blocks, even with the Mummy Rocket. Mummy Rocket ran up on her, but just didn't have it in the last 7 meters. Sharika Jackson had a slow start, but came through with 71 meters gone. I started to scream, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Olio, I want a Jamaican passport, please.
Oh my goodness, absolutely magical. Alex Jordan is over there in Tokyo, and Alex, I'll put this to you. Trust the Jamaicans to bring something spectacular to the games that has the whole world talking.
Right? A little Taloa, all of the phrases. Incredible moment, not just for Jamaica, but I would argue for Tokyo 2020 Olympics. It's been an Olympics that's been under the microscope. It's been difficult with the pandemic, and this has been a beautiful evening here at the Olympic Stadium.
Alex, we couldn't quite make out what Elaine was saying. Obviously, after she crossed the line, you were within earshot, and the place was quiet enough for you to hear. What was she saying when she crossed the line and she eventually laid? Well, she was flat on her back on the track for a spell. Could you hear anything that she was screaming? What was she saying?
I couldn't hear what she was screaming, but I did speak to her. I spoke to all 3. I spoke to 1, 2, 3.
What did she say? What did she say when you spoke to her?
Elaine Thompson is cool as ice. She basically referenced the non-believers. I said to her that she looked very relaxed, both on and off the track. And she said, "I believed in myself." She believes in her God. We referenced Stephen Francis. She thanked him. But she was very cool. She wasn't sort of ebullient and smiling and laughing. She was looking at me and looking at the camera as if to say, "I told you so. You didn't believe me. You questioned me. Take that. Take Olympic record. Take fastest time ever at the Olympics."
Absolutely so. As Anil Roberts said, Elaine Thompson-Herah, the Ice Queen, she would do very well at a blackjack table in Las Vegas because you're not reading any clues from her facial expression. Chris Taylor, in this moment, look, we're going to have a lot of time to talk about Elaine Thompson-Herah, but I want to, in this moment, pay tribute to Stephen Francis. If you ever need another example of this man's greatness, you could send that turtle to Stephen Francis. And if the turtle is committed, he will have that turtle sprinting.
Yeah, amazing coach. And one of the things he does do is he understands his athletes very well. And I think that's important as well. He knows the highs and the lows. He knows what to expect at certain times. He reads the schedules and the plans very well. And he puts them into place. And that's an important thing from a coach. The ability to understand the athlete, know when they're at their best and know when they're at their low. Know when you can push them and when you have to relax. And I think that he has done that very well. He has taken athletes who have not been the greatest in their youth and turn them into phenomenal athletes. And I think that's a big deal. Take average persons and make them great. And that's a big deal from a coach's perspective.
That's a mark of a coach. And then I'm going to give you a crack at the coaching perspective in short order. But Aileen, we saw these women jogging, well, easing some ridiculous times. We've seen in the past persons appear to jog through heats, and when they reach the final and the occasion comes on their shoulders, they produce something that isn't as spectacular as they did before. But this woman went faster and faster and faster. And I'm sure if there was another round of the 100, she'd probably go faster than 10:61. Tremendous.
She probably would have, and that's like the mental space that Frano creates. Because I remember on a character team, we were on a character team, and we hated that he smoked. So he promised all of us he would quit smoking if we won every single event. And we went out there and we won every single event. And then he just laughed at us and pulled his cigarette back out and smoked it. It was like, I was just trying to get y'all to be great. And that's the type of person he is. I mean, he seems a little grumpy, but when it comes to like getting you to where you need to be, he's that type of person. And mental focus at these championships is what's necessary. And Elaine had that.
Anil Roberts, we've been talking all Olympics long about coaches getting in the way of their athletes' best performance. Coaches getting the taper, getting their athletes to peak, getting all of that wrong. We've spoken about coaches not helping athletes to have that mental balance. Here is a coach, Anil Roberts, that has done it time and time and time again. And when he makes a pronouncement and people laugh at him, he comes and he does it again in spectacular fashion. This is the archetype of what a coach should be, Anil Roberts. A man who can get big performers to perform in a big way on the big occasions.
George Davis, you could not have said it any better. A lot of questions you always ask. What is needed to be elite? What is needed to win? Let me tell you, if you have a coach like Stephen Francis, you could train out in a pothole road in Trinidad and Tobago in point 14, dodging potholes and win gold. The most important aspect of an athlete's life, career, preparation at the highest point is the coach. This man, the guru, I think I'm quite a good coach. I bow to him. He puts every detail, and you can see it coming through the rounds. Ira walked down in the first round. In the semi-final, she ran within 70%. At 45 meters, she shut down. And yet, when you showed the graph, that brilliant computer graph of the hot spot, she is shutting down and maintaining her top speed at 39.2 kilometers. I have not seen the graph yet for the hot spot, but I think she must have gone up to 43 kilometers per hour and held that from 29 meters all the way through the tape while pointing at the 10.60. Up to 1061. A coach is a guru. A coach is a genius. A coach that meets a diamond, polishes it to perfection. Well done, Jamaica. Well done, Mr. Francis.
Absolutely. So, Alex Jordan, I know you have to run because you have more work to do, but guess what? I messed up the first question to you, Alex. What I should have asked you the first time around was it as visually spectacular inside the stadium, mere yards away from the 8 women, as it was to us, thousands of miles away watching on television? Is Alex hearing us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now, my friend. Go ahead.
I said yes. It was a rare slip from the great George Davis. 9:42 p.m. is when we have to start this discussion, where all the lights in the stadium slowly went dark. Absolute silence. You know, this, of course, was not only to build drama for this incredible race, but again, a reference to the reverence of the Japanese culture. It was a prayer for it to go well. And it was such a special moment, and you could hear a pin drop in this stadium before the start of the race, and it was unbelievable to watch. It was history, wasn't it? I mean, when Elaine
Thompson
Elaine Thompson era raised her hand right there at the finish line. She looked so in control and so powerful, and to see Jamaica come 1, 2, 3, I mean, just filled us with pride. I want to make a further point, because you were talking about Stephen Francis and the coach, but actually tonight is about the women. You know, Tokyo 2020 sports director, her name is Kotani Mikako. She's a former Olympian, she's a woman, she's a wife and mother. She was charged with planning this Olympics, and there was a huge focus on gender equality and diversity. And if you ask me, Tokyo 2020 Olympics could not ask for more than this extraordinary 100-meter final.
Alex, I absolutely agree with you, and I'm not taking anything away from the women. It's just in the moment I'm acknowledging the coach in prime time, because we often acknowledge the coach on the sidelines, and what he has done with this woman, absolutely tremendous. But thank you very much for that, my friend.
Can I say one more thing? Can I say one more thing?
Of course you can. Of course you can.
You know, it was interesting. Obviously, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce was extremely gracious, and you guys will see those interviews on SportsMax, so stay tuned. But the happiest of the three, the most ebullient of the three, was Shericka Jackson. I mean, obviously, she was just happy to be there among the legends, and what an incredible run for her. I think, I mean, a lot has to be said to her amidst those two champions.
Absolutely so. And again, another reason to credit Stephen Francis, because he's taken a quarter-miler, put her into shape where she can get into a 100 meters final, lowering her personal best and winning a bronze medal. Absolutely tremendous from Shericka, the athlete herself. But Francis, again, must take some of the credit. It's a wonderful morning, people. We're sending you to a break. And in case you were under a rock in a very, very deep hole, Jamaica 1, 2, 3 in the women's 100 meters final. It was billed as such. Many people hoped for such. Many people wanted something spectacular in this post-Usain Bolt era. Well, let me tell you, we have to find a new adjective, because spectacular doesn't do it justice. The women, absolute dynamite. Break time here on Tokyo Prime, the morning edition. Much more in the gold medal segment after these.
Isn't it?
Woman ever in the world to repeat, the fastest woman in the history of the Olympics. How are you feeling?
God is amazing. Last month, this time, I didn't think I would be here today. I've been up and down with this injury, same whole injury, and I had faith. I believe in God, I believe in myself. I know what I can do, I know what I'm capable of doing, even though I see the shade, the bad comment, the mental thing that they throw on me that I'm mental. But I'm not mental. I believe in God and I have faith. And 5 years later, I came here defending my title. God is amazing.
Elaine Thompson-Herah, let's talk about that race. You look so relaxed. In fact, you look so relaxed on and off the track.
Honestly, I'm super nervous, but I teach myself how to control that. I take my breath in and out and release that comfortably. with all of that, it's nervous and confidence.
You talked about believing in yourself. Stephen Francis also believed in you. He said you were in the form of your life at the Nationals, and it's come to fruition. A word on him.
Thank you. Big up. Blessed up.
Last question. 1, 2, 3, Jamaica. What a nation. Say something.
Amazing.
Thank you. Well done.
Absolutely. So that's the way to, well, that's the equivalent of a drop mic moment. She amazing, and then she's gone. Absolutely wonderful. Leighton Levy is with us. So too is Obadeli Thompson. And Leighton, let's put things into context here. In Rio, when Elaine Thompson won the gold medal in the 100 meters, she ran 10.71. That was a very, very fast race because apart from the injured Christania Williams, who trailed home in that event, every woman under 11 seconds. In fact, English Gardner, who finished 7th, second to last in that event, ran 10.94. 4 years later, well, 5 years later, Elaine Thompson-Herah, battling an Achilles injury for much of that stretch and having to nurse herself through training and competition, speaking after the first round heat about how the injury was still an issue, but she was managing it well, comes and runs 10.61 faster than the 10.71 she did in Rio because she had to produce something special to stay ahead of an absolutely tremendous field. I don't know if you can add any more context to that, but you are capable, Leighton. Go ahead.
Well, the first thing, if my history is correct, this is the first time that 3 women would have run in a 100-meter Olympic final under 10.8 seconds. 10.61, 10.74, 10.76.
You are correct.
I don't think that's ever been done before. The second thing is that I love the fact that Elaine Thompson said she believed in herself, because as she rightly said, there are many people who discounted her, saying that she's a choker and that she's not ready for the big time, forgetting that she was a double Olympic champion in 2016. One of the things that people tend to forget is that a healthy Elaine Thompson has never lost to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. And today again, she proved it. You look back in 2019 at the national championships, 10.73 to 10.73, but Elaine Thompson got the win. Going back through the history of their head-to-heads, she always, as long as she's healthy, she beats Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. It's one of the reasons why I thought that Shelly-Ann Fraser felt the pressure from the start, because when you look at her start, she made mistakes at her start, she made mistakes in the middle of her race, and she made mistakes at the end of her race. And given, of course, not to say that had those mistakes not been made, she would have won, because I don't know if anybody was ready to run 10.61 right now other than Elaine Thompson. It was a fantastic performance, and one that puts her into the annals of history, and one which helps her remove a record that I personally found to be a little bit controversial for the Olympics. So now that she has the Olympic record, it's a great win for Jamaica and the world and the sport of track and field.
Absolutely. So Obadeli Thompson is on duty at our IMC commentary booth. Oba, is it safe to assume that this race panned out precisely how you envisioned it?
George, you said something I didn't hear you.
Exactly as I envisioned it. I thought...
Go ahead, Oba. Go ahead.
Jamaica would definitely... I thought Jamaica would sweep. Coming into it, I thought that the biggest threats would be from Talu and Dina Asher-Smith, but of course when Asher-Smith had her problems, probably from her injury, and Talu was running really well, I thought, maybe there's an outside chance that it could break up the 3. But then, as soon as the gun went off, Elaine got out, and I realized she was so close to Shelly-Ann, I knew that we were going to see something special. They were in tremendous shape this year, and the gauntlet had been set down all year. These women have been running extremely fast. We knew that the Olympic record would be under threat, and it finally went down. And the most amazing thing is that if Elaine ran through the line completely, she would have actually run under 10.60.
Based on the semi-final performances, Oba, and those 10.7s easing up towards the finish from, well, Fraser-Pryce certainly, Elaine Thompson certainly, even Shericka Jackson was easy in her 10.7 effort, and Talu as well. Did you envision that the winning time would be about, well, would be what it was, 10.61 or even faster?
I wasn't 100% sure if they could get that deep. I thought it might be in the mid-60s. Because sometimes what happens is during the semifinals, the tension is there, but not as much as the final moment. And so people sometimes run a bit faster in the semifinals, and then the finals appear to be more disappointing. But another thing that a lot of people may not realize is that while you prepare for finals, when you're in the warm-up period, you're continually running and running and running to stay warm and to make sure that everything is clicking. So all those runs compound. So to be able to pull off a performance like this after warming up and running so fast during the rounds is amazing.
Last thing before we go to the break, Oba, Leighton said that he felt that Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce cracked when Elaine Thompson was on her shoulder so early in the contest. What's your view on that?
I believe his analysis is correct in terms of when Elaine is healthy. She usually wins. And the last couple of years, she has not been healthy. She showed in their last showdown that when she is focused and runs her race, she normally wins. And that's exactly what happened here. She executed her race. And the thing about it is, Shelly-Ann has never faced someone running this fast. And the reality of the situation is when you're facing someone running that fast and your race is not really the end of the race and they're right there with you at the beginning and the middle of the race, then there's really nothing she could have done to respond. And I think some of the falling apart would have been just the pure shock of seeing Elaine that far ahead and not coming back.
Wow, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce beaten into second place. Shericka Jackson right on her shoulder for third. Some distance in front of both women. Elaine Thompson-Herah, the Olympic champion, defending her title from Rio and setting an Olympic record. That's where the record comes in. 10.61 seconds. The world. I can't wait to jump on social media and see what the Twitterverse especially is saying about this spectacular performance and this historic result. Much more on Tokyo Prime, the morning edition, after these.
Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, it's a testament to what a champion you are that I have to say commiserations on a silver medal.
Thank you very much.
Tell me how the race was for you.
I don't think technically it wasn't good. I think I actually had a stumble at about the third step, and I just never recovered from that. But there's no excuse, I'm not making any excuse. Congratulations to Elaine, of course, for coming out here and getting, the Olympic record, and also for Shericka, quarter mile finishing in third place is just awesome. For me, I'm just giving God thanks that I was able to come out here, and every time that I grace the track, I know that I grace it for His glory, and I'm hoping that somewhere along the line, women, mothers, athletes are inspired to chase their dreams and never give up.
You're such a gracious champion. And in fact, I don't think the Tokyo 2020 could have asked for more. The director of the Olympics is a former Olympian, a mother, and it was about equality, it was about gender equality. Can you speak to how important and how amazing this final was?
Yeah, it's very important that as females, we are celebrated for our achievements and the things that we're able to do, the barriers that we break, because it's important for the next generation of athletes that are coming to understand they are important and they are valued, and you just have to come and you just have to work hard and you just have to represent and leave a legacy that will outlive you.
Shelly-Ann, you're so well loved and respected. Can you give the Caribbean something down the frame?
Hi. Thank you guys so much for your support. Of course, I want to big up my sponsors, Digital, Grace Kennedy, Visa, and Nike, of course, for all the support so far. I'm looking forward to the rest of the championship.
Wonderful. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
In the semi-finals.
Yeah, grace in victory, class in defeat. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce there speaking with Alex Jordan after her silver medal performance in the women's 100 meters final. What is true, Aileen Bailey, you don't expect to go to an Olympic final, run 10.74 and lose the gold medal by 1300ths of a second. It's almost unheard of, but it's just what happened today. But Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, as ever, classy in defeat and acknowledging that her rival was just better on the day.
Yeah, and definitely, and that's how the sport is. Like you can't. It wasn't your day, so you just have to reset. And she has other events to focus on, so she can't just focus on this one.
Yeah.
This one mishap. But I was looking forward to both of them having like an amazing start and run no mishap and running.
Let me interrupt you though, Aileen, because you spotted something which, you know, this is why we have people like you on the show. The first replay, you looked at it and said, oh, Shelly missed her third step. And that's what she said in the post-interview, that she stumbled on her third step out of the blocks.
Yeah, I mean, you run so much, and and I'm a high school coach now, so I tend to get that eye. I have that eye now to see like mistakes and stuff. But I'm happy that they did well, and the gold came back home to Jamaica and the Caribbean. And you know, Shelly is always so gracious and humble, and her personality is why we love her so much and wanted her last Olympic for her to go out, you know, with that in mind. But I wanted like us to get 2 gold medals, but
Chris, the Rio Games rather in 2016. Picture this, relive this rather. The 400 meters final. Allyson Felix from the United States, Shawnee Miller-Uibo from the Bahamas, Shericka Jackson in third, running on, landing bronze. Fast forward 1 Olympic cycle, 5 years. The same Shericka Jackson.
Correct.
Running on, grabbing bronze in the 100 meters. If that's not a tremendous accomplishment, Chris, I don't know what a tremendous accomplishment is.
No, and great to acknowledge the talent. I mean, Shericka used to run the 100 meter when she was a young and swan. Kudos to her coaching staff for seeing that, you know, they wanted her to revisit the 100 meter and thought that she had the talent there. To bring this performance the first time in the Olympics in the 100 meter is amazing. And she can only get better from there. I mean, as you said, not the strongest starter, no, but what a finish she has. So it looks good. And I love what Shelly said about, you know, looking forward to the rest of the events that she has to participate in, and giving kudos to her teammates as well, because there is still a lot to come for these Jamaican women. And how exciting it will be for the 200 meters and the relay to come. But yes, great from the coaching staff, great from Shericka to show her versatility in terms of sprint events, and what a quality as well.
Yeah, Obadeli Fraser-Pryce wins silver in this event. It has been a tremendous career so far. The career is far from over, but this woman has overcome so much, Oba, and what she put into her performance today is deserving and worthy of respect, even for those who had her favored to win gold.
Absolutely. When you consider the totality of her career, 2 Olympic golds, a bronze, and now a silver, the longevity, you put 4 world championships also, pregnancy, returning from that, childbirth, everything that she mentioned, and she is still right there at the top. Let's not forget that she, up until a few moments ago, was the 2nd fastest woman ever. Let's just ponder that. And she's 34 years old. And what she's done has just been a testament to her determination, to the people that have been around her, the support that she has received from she mentioned her sponsors, and even the people who, as an athlete, this is one thing that I think is really important, is to understand that we are human beings, and the relationships that we have with friends, with our supporters, sometimes even those people who are detractors can help us along the way. But I think it's really important right now that we celebrate them all. And even the finalists who did not medal. It's such a big achievement to be at the Olympic Games, to make an Olympic final. It was an amazing final that we saw, and looking forward to a lot more.
Absolutely so. Absolutely correct with what you said there, Obadiah Thompson. I remember as a lad, some of my friends were laughing, saying Ray Stewart finished last at the Olympics. And I said, but you realize Ray Stewart is the 8th fastest man in the world. And that put perspective on the conversation. And nobody ever said anything rubbish like that ever again. Thank you for your time, Oba. We'll continue to enjoy your work from the IBC commentary booth. I turn now to Anil Roberts over there in Trinidad and Tobago. Anil, let's talk about the silver medalist for a little bit. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is perhaps, well, she perhaps epitomizes what you meant a couple days ago when you said that women are stronger than men for what she has come through and come from to deliver another capital effort that just fell short of gold at the Olympics.
First of all, if men had to bring children into the world would be without human beings. For a woman to come back from having a child when God, the supreme being, designed a mother to create, it's the anti-sprinter. To become pregnant and bring life into the world, it goes obliquely against what a sprinting woman, a high-octane athlete is trying to do. So I can't even understand how Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce could come back into an Olympic final and run that brilliant time. There's still a lot more analysis to go into this 100. I need you, George Davis. I'm giving you homework because I won't get to ask the questions of Stephen Francis. I've seen a slight change in the start of Elaine Thompson from 2016 to 2021, right at Tokyo 2020 Olympics. He is a taller sprinter, and he's changed the momentum of the intensity of the start. She comes out a little quicker, like an instinct, a flinch, a jump, rather than a come out. So I want you to ask him if he did make that change, because you can see that she's normally a little bit further behind. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce needs that start to get about 3 feet on Elaine Thompson to have a chance to win. She only got about 1.5 feet, and that was enough for Elaine Thompson to overcome it. And secondly, I would like to see the speed of Elaine Thompson at 95 meters, because if she's running that 200, if she doesn't celebrate, if Jamaica enter her, the 200 is going to be phenomenal, because I think she hit her highest speed at 94 to 96 meters going and pointing at the clock after. Thirdly, I think Elaine Thompson made a little mistake. She said she was a little nervous, but great athletes use their nerves to get the speed up. Once you control it, you can't let it burn you up and make you scared and shatter you. But if you have it at the right point, it brings greatness. If you go back to the semifinal, Elaine Thompson went 21 strides before lifting her head to lift her knees that extra ½ inch. In the final, she only went about 7 strides and her head was up running. I think Steve Francis might have to say, listen, young lady, you forgot to be perfect. But gold medal, 1, 2, 3, Jamaica, Caribbean, brilliant.
Absolutely so. Leighton Levy, I want to bring up the Shericka Jackson point with you, because I know you're the historian, Leighton. How many women have won a bronze medal in the Olympics in the 400 meters and then returned to win a bronze medal in the 100 meters? It's a tremendous accomplishment, especially when you consider, as you pointed out, when you look at the medal positions in this 100 meters final, no 3 medalists have ever run faster in the history of the Olympics. So to do that in the quarter mile for Shericka Jackson, and then to do this in this fastest ever medal segment of a 100 meters, absolutely fantastic. I think this young woman deserves a lot of credit, Mr. Levy.
Absolutely. And let's say one thing before I speak about Shericka. Let it not be lost in the conversation about Elaine Thompson's victory, the history that Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce created in this final, because she's now become the first woman in history to medal in 4 consecutive 100-meter Olympic finals. Olympic 100-meter finals. That in itself is a start. But to go back to Shericka Jackson, fantastic performance. I can't think of anybody else have ever done that, George. I can think of Irina Pravalova, who medaled in the Olympics, I think it was 1988, of course, but got injured and came back and won a medal in the 400-meter hurdles. But never have I seen it go the other way. So it just speaks to the tremendous talent that Shericka Jackson is. Traditionally a 2-4 sprinter when she was at Veer. I remember remember the first time she ever lost at the Character Games was to Shawnee Miller-Uibo. She went to MVP and became a 400-meter athlete. One bronze, at the World Championships and again at the Olympics. To come back now and produce times of 10.76 and win a bronze in the 100 meters is nothing short of miraculous and historical.
So tell me this now, Leighton. What does this do for the women for the rest of the championships? How does it set them up from here for the various assignments they have, individual 200 meters, and of course that very, very important matter of a 4x100 meters relay?
Well, for the 200, certainly all three will go in with a lot more confidence. Of course, Elaine Thompson with 10.61, she said she wanted to defend her 100 and 200 meter titles. Right now, she's, in my book, the favorite. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce will be looking for redemption because she made mistakes that she's never made before in a 100 meter final. To run 10.74 and lose never happened in a major final for her before. And of course, Sherika Jackson, a new personal best, to go along with that 21.82 that she ran at the national championships in June. All three ladies will be going in very confident, and it will send a message to the rest of them, especially since Dina Asher-Smith has withdrawn from the 200 meters. Now gives them a better opportunity for that reality of another 1, 2, 3, notwithstanding the presence of a Talou or a Shawnee Miller-Uibo. These three women right now are the talk of the town, and the rest of the world is quaking in their boots.
Absolutely so. The women have spoken and spoken loudly. Their performances resound. Fraser-Pryce, silver. Sherika Jackson, bronze. The golden girl, Elaine Thompson-Herah. We break here in Tokyo Prime, the morning edition. Back with more. The diminutive Natoya Gould will be on the medal hunt when the women line up in the final of the 800 meters, comfortably taking her semi-final heat. But there are some hot steppers who've qualified along with her. It will be a battle, but the Jamaican is reportedly in the best shape of her life, and based on how she has looked over the first 2 rounds of the 800 meters, that does seem to be the case. But she'll have to perhaps produce a career best effort to stand on the medal podium. This is the final segment of Tokyo Prime, the morning edition. Aileen Bailey has been talking a lot off camera about what Natoya Gould needs to avoid doing or avoid being trapped in order to have a shot at a medal. You care to tell the viewers what the advice is that you would give to Ghoulie, as you call her?
Just avoid being boxed in. Being boxed in is dangerous, and like these season's 800-meter runners, if they know that you're a threat, their aim is to box you in and prevent you and chop your stride and prevent you from getting away from them. And being boxed in it's dangerous because it's hard to get out of it, and you could get stepped on, elbowed. It's a whole bunch of things that can happen. So I just need her to like stay out of the box. Yeah.
Chris, you had a close look at the semifinals, and you saw the protagonists going through. How does Natoya Gould stack up against the women who had faster times or who carry faster times into the final?
I think good. I think one of the major changes for her has been race management. I mean, Gould over her career has been known to go too hard in the early stages and then burn out near the end. I think she's adjusted that so she has a stronger finish now. Against what Aileen has said about the box out, I think maybe that's why as well, in both races that she's run, she's been out front. She's actually set the pace, controlled it, and then had a final kick at the end. So I think changes to her race strategy and so on has worked in her favor, and I think that will help her going into the final. It will be a tough competition. We think about the favorite Mo from the United States, and she certainly is dominating in terms of her times and so on, and she will be a rough one to beat. But I think Natoya certainly, would be challenging seriously for a medal and so on. And I like her strategy and how she's changed it along her way.
Leighton Levy, are you still there with us in the Penthouse studio? If you are, Leighton, I'm putting this question to you. Natoya Gould's chances of an 800 meters medal, is it an outside chance or is it a stronger chance than that?
I think it's a really strong chance. I think this has probably been her best shot at winning a medal. But she has to be smart about it. There are a couple of things that she does not need to do. You cannot run with, I think, Mo. 49.57 speed is much faster than 52 that Natoya has run this year. Natoya has the third fastest time in the world this year, 156.44, I believe it is. The thing is, there's going to be two races. There's going to be what Mo does. Mo is going to lead from the front. Natoya needs to control the rest of the pack and run her best time this season. If she runs anything in the region of 156 to 157 low, she should be among the medals. But she has to be smart about it, run the proper race strategy, and as you heard Aileen and Chris say, she has to be in control of her own race and not be dragged into, I think, Mo's speed. That would burn her out before she gets to the last 200 meters. If she does that, she's on the podium.
Anil, you're a big Natoya Gould fan, you say. How do you fancy her chances of climbing that medal podium after this 800 meters women's final?
As a coach, if I could choose any athlete in that 800 flat, I choose Natoya Gould. She looks sharp. She looks rested. All of her capacities, her faculties are there. Her running style can adapt to different races. In that semi-final, she had a horrible start. I don't know if she was daydreaming about a Jamaican patty, but she immediately went into fright mode, ran a hard 12 to 14 paces, and got in control where she would not be boxed in. We don't want to get boxed in. You can remember 1984, Mary Decatab and Zola Budd boxed in, and the spikes digging into the bare feet of Zola Budd. Natoya Gould looks good for gold. I am putting her right now as the favorite over Ating Mao. Listen to me very carefully. If I was to make this pace and this race, this strategy, I look at the strengths of Natoya Gould. She's small, diminutive. That means her heart does not have to pump as much blood to fuel her muscles. I will take it out and stretch, push Ating Mo outside of a comfort zone after 300 meters. Lift the pace. Take the taller, bigger athlete. Make her heart start to pump early on in the second lap. Maybe take it out in 58.9. Open it up and see who has the guts to finish. I think Natoya Gould is fit. She's fast. She can handle the pace. And she'll be out of trouble. It's a two-horse race. And my money is on Jamaica with Gould.
Hear you on that, hear you on that. We're out of time, Leighton. I think we can steal 20 seconds for me to ask you about Johan Blake. I asked about him rather than any other Caribbean athlete for the men's 100 meters because of his place in on the all-time list of fastest men over 100 meters. Did he look good to you in that opening heat?
He didn't look sharp. But I think maybe that has a consequence of some nerves. His last Olympics, he did declare publicly that he's not going to come away from Tokyo without a medal. But it's nice to see that he got that race out of the way, and now he can focus on proper strategy and proper execution, and I think he'll do well.
Thank you on that. Thank you for that. Well, on this golden morning, we bid you farewell from Tokyo Prime, the morning edition. And, well, I encourage you to enjoy the rest of the programming until we return for Tokyo Prime, the evening edition, in a few hours from now. Yes, it is a golden morning, a Jamaican 1, 2, 3, like we all wished for, like we all hoped for, like some analysts predicted, and as the women delivered on the track inside the Tokyo Olympic Stadium, Tom Sahara, Fraser Price, Jackson, in that order.